Okay, so I'm out on a Hobie Tiger on a Tuesday afternoon, and I know that the mainsail locking mechanism on the Tiger, on the FX1, on the 20 Formula, some people absolutely can't stand it and they really struggle with this. And somebody asked, apologies, I can't remember who it was, is it actually possible to hoist and drop the sail on one of these bad boys whilst you are out? So do you know what I thought? I thought I would come out. It's a light cross-shore wind, so it's probably gusting, I don't know, 12, maybe 14 knots in the biggest gusts. I thought I'd come out and see if it's possible. So what we're looking at doing is dropping the sail, then we're going to hoist it again, and then we're going to drop it again. So to drop the sail first, what we need to do is firstly we need to take off the downhaul. So I'm just going to take off the downhaul. I am of course alone here. It would be quite useful to have somebody else to steer the boat whilst all this is going on. But this first one, it might take us a few goes, just because we'll see. So we'll just pop the sail out of the mast track at the bottom there, and now just going to take the halyard out of the pocket. Bit of a gust coming. Let's see what this is going to do to us. Not a great deal. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is just put the boat on the other tack, and I'm just going to do this by pulling the boom into the center. You can really see how much that spins the boat, and just so we're on the other tack, this is going to make it a lot easier. I'm just backing her up there a little bit to get her on that tack. And we're going to use the tornado method, which is to take the halyard from the mast here. We've got the main sheet still attached, but it's pretty loose, but we can use it if push comes to shove. So the boat is pretty much head to wind here, and now I'm going to pull the halyard. We've seen the hook has popped out of the top, and then we always put the knot on the left with our Tigers, which means to drop the sail, we're going to turn the mast to the left, just loosening off the mast rotation so that we can bring it round. So there we go, and now we can drop the sail, and we're going to bring her all the way down. But of course, with the sail down, we're not going to do so well in keeping the boat into the wind. In fact, the wind is already blowing us off downwind. So let's say okay, we're now on a Tiger with no sails up. This is pretty weird. But say you're launching from a fairly tight marina and you absolutely can't sail out with the mainsail up. So let's see if it is possible to hoist and hook in the mainsail afloat. Our first problem is going to be with this bit of wind with the mainsail actually trying to fly away. But again, we're going to use the tornado method, because this means we can feed the sail in and pull the halyard from the same position. And we can see that the wind is pretty much side on, so what we can actually do already is just pull the leech of the sail. So we've got to be careful it doesn't get snagged on the rigging with it being so far over. So I'm just going to grab the leech of the sail, pull it a bit, and what that's going to do, even with this small bit of sail, is it's going to help to turn the boat into the wind a bit. And we're just being careful not to snag the battens on the rigging. Okay, I'm going to turn the mast a little bit to get the mast to line up with the sail, and now we can continue our hoist. Yeah, as the sail's going up more, the boat is oh, we almost made a mistake there. Okay, if you're using the tornado method, always pull the halyard a little bit forwards. If it goes back at all, it could pull out beyond the bolt rope, and that could jam really badly, so just be aware of that. So as we're hoisting more sail, the boat is naturally going to turn into the wind a bit more, which is exactly what we want. We can rotate the mast to get the mast and sail lined up a bit better. I haven't actually tried this for a long time, so this is quite an interesting experiment. Okay, so yeah, she's going up pretty well now, but we're just catching a bit of wind. So I'm actually going to use the boom now to turn the boat a bit more into the wind. Okay, there we go, very nice. If the sail and the mast are lined up, it's really going to go up so much easier, especially as we get towards the top. I've got the main sheet catching slightly, but I think I'm just gonna live with that. Just try to get the boat into the wind a bit more. So I'm pulling the sail. There we go, she's turning. And then we'll just have a second or two to do a bit more sail hoist. But in fact, I think I'm gonna take the boom off. That's gonna make life a lot easier. So I'm just gonna put the halyard into this cleat here. That's nice. And just taking the boom off, and then we'll see how we get on putting that back on afterwards. All right, so in fact maybe we can leave the boom on there, but just with the outhaul released, maybe that will be a bit easier. Let's try that. Oh, but just pulling the boom across the centre line to get the boat into the wind a bit more. Okay, there we go. Oh yeah. Okay, so what I've learned already is this is not particularly easy, because the boat just keeps wanting to wander off from head to wind. When it's head to wind, that should go up pretty easily. Oh, coming out of the track there a bit. Okay, this is a very good test though, it's good to know. Okay, and perhaps I think having the sail on the boom at all is causing too much resistance. So can we even get that off? I think we can, with a little bit of determination. Oh, she's off, just using the foot to steer there. So we're finding out as we go along what works and what doesn't work. We're certainly off here, so just steering with the foot. Just want to get her head to wind. So that is what seems to be the most tricky bit here with the hoist, is getting the boat to sit head to wind. Okay, we're pretty much there now. See if having the boom off makes it a bit easier. Oh yeah, much easier. We are pretty close to being up. Just grab the stick, push it to turn into the wind a bit more, and one more good pull and she's up. Okay, two more good pulls. Okay, now to lock her in, I'm going to turn the mast away to put the hook above the top of the mast. And there we are, she's locked in. So now the procedure is going to be, we've got to put the boom on. So I've got to go chasing the clue, but by grabbing hold of the clue, that's actually going to turn the boat into the wind a bit, which is what we're after. Grabbing the clue, almost windsurfering it. That is a new word that you can use, the verb to windsurfer. Okay, we'll pull that on a bit, and now that that's on, I'm not actually going to go through the motions of putting the downhaul on. We're just going to drop it again, and then we can continue on our way. Just going to check the lens of the camera. Lens is good. Okay, so what we've found there is that the main difficulty is keeping the boat head to wind for the hoist. All right, so now we'll go for another drop. So when we dropped it before, we did have the main sheet still attached. This time the main sheet's off, so we've pulled it up. With the drop on a Tiger, when you pull it up, it doesn't want to be a slow, smooth pull. It wants to be a short, sharp pull to pop the hook out from the top of the mast. So that was our short, sharp pull, and now we can pull this bad boy down. Very nice, it's coming down nicely. So this would be if we're returning into our marina, and then there we go. We'll take the halyard off so then we can roll the sail up. Just tying up to the spanner bar using a bowline, and put the boom across so that we can still have our steering for our return journey. Getting a wide stance on the boat for the roll up, and we like to roll our sails from the top because it's easier to do on your own for a start, but it's also easier to get the battens to line up, but it's so much easier to do if you're on your own, rolling the sail from the top. Okay, so there we go, sail is rolled. I'm going to put that across the boat at the back so it's out of the way. Okay, and I think what I'm going to do is I could go bare poles here actually. She seems to be going pretty well with no sail at all. I haven't got the GPS on, but I'd say we must be doing 2 or 3 knots there. But I think what I'm going to do is get the jib out just to really get her zipping along. So just engaging my inner ballerina, the front of the boat, so I can unroll the jib. Here it comes. We're using a manual furl here. All right, and I'm actually just going to hold it with my hand just while I negotiate these windsurfers. Okay, maybe I can put the sheet on, and nicely. All right, there we go. Oh well, this is pretty good. We're just zipping along here, a little bit sort of Pirates of the Caribbean style. All that we need is the jib. I don't even know why we bother with the mainsail. Sometimes the jib is providing oh so much. Okay, so I think we can leave that there. I hope that had some value. Even if you don't have this system for locking your sail in at the top, I think it's good to know that it is possible. I think single-handed it would be extremely difficult at sea on a 16. Maybe that'll be the next test to see if we can do it on a 16. We'd certainly be able to drop it, but whether we can hoist it, that is what we would need to find out. But it's a much more leisurely way to come through the traffic of windsurfers here in Vasiliki Bay, just under Jib alone. But of course, if we are sailing under Jib alone, one thing we do have to keep in mind is the boat won't sail upwind just with the jib. So kind of like a fairly close reach will be the closest to the wind that we can do. So we just want to make sure we're not going to have to sail upwind with the jib. Okay, at this point I can get really prepared and even take out a dagger board, so then when I get back to the beach I can just pop it on a trolley and hoik her out very nice too. Okay, I'm going to sign off there. Thanks very much for watching. It's been a great pleasure hoisting and dropping this mainsail today. But it is possible, and we'll come out again at some point and do it with the 16 as the wind increases. Can we trapeze under jib alone? You know what? I think we can. Let's do it. Okay, just when you thought the video was over, we're out on the trapeze just with the jib. Okay, we don't really need to be on the trapeze. I will agree with you there, but that is the stuff that dreams are made of. Very nice. Okay, so back with more on Joyrider TV with some more very soon. So stay tuned. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you're not yet subscribed, because there will be a lot more coming soon, but you'll only know if you're subscribed. Thank you very much, and thank you very much. Giving it the beats 2020.